Welcome to Lit with Ernest, where we dive into the lives and works of the most influential figures in literature. Today, we're talking about a man who needs no introduction, but I'm going to give him one anyway. George Orwell. Yeah, that's the one. But there's more to Orwell than just those two classics. He was a complex, multifaceted individual with a rich life story that shaped his writing in profound ways. Born Eric Arthur Blair on June 25, 1903, in Motihari, India, Orwell spent his early years in a colonial setting that would later influence his writings on imperialism and social justice. His father, Richard Blair, was a civil servant in the British colonial service, and the family moved to England when Orwell was just a year old. Growing up in a lower upper-class family, as he put it, Orwell experienced a mix of privilege and financial struggle that would later inform his perspectives on class and social inequality. Orwell's educational journey took him from a Catholic convent school to Eton College, where he excelled academically but struggled with the strictures of the British class system. It was during this time that he developed a passion for writing, influenced by authors like H.G. Wells, Dickens, and Kipling. However, his experiences at Eton also instilled in him a deep-seated distrust of authority and a commitment to social justice, which would become hallmarks of his literary career. After completing his education, Orwell joined the British Imperial Police in Burma, now Myanmar, where he served for 5 years. This experience had a profound impact on his writing, particularly in works like Burmese Days and Shooting an Elephant. The latter, with its themes of colonial guilt and the corrupting influence of power, is a powerful example of Orwell's ability to craft compelling narratives that challenge social norms. In the 1930s, Orwell moved to Paris, where he became involved in the city's vibrant literary scene. It was here that he began to develop his unique writing style, which blended elements of journalism, fiction, and social commentary. Works like Down and Out in Paris and London and The Road to Wigan Pier showcased his ability to capture the struggles of the working class and the marginalized, while also exploring themes of identity, politics, and culture. Orwell's most famous works, of course, are Animal Farm and 1984. Published in 1945 and 1949, respectively, these novels are powerful allegories that warn against the dangers of totalitarianism, propaganda, and government overreach. Animal Farm, with its depiction of a group of farm animals who rebel against their human oppressors, only to see their revolution devolve into tyranny, is a scathing critique of Stalinism and the corrupting influence of power. 1984, on the other hand, is a dystopian masterpiece that depicts a future where independent thought is suppressed, and citizens are constantly surveilled by the all-powerful state. Orwell's legacy is complex and multifaceted. On the one hand, he's widely regarded as one of the most important writers of the 20th century, a champion of free speech and intellectual honesty. His work has influenced generations of writers, from Margaret Atwood to Neil Gaiman. But Orwell's also been criticized for his biases and limitations. His portrayal of women, for example, has been called sexist and reductionist. Despite these criticisms, Orwell's work remains remarkably relevant today. His warnings about the dangers of propaganda, censorship, and government overreach are more timely than ever. One of the most interesting aspects of Orwell's life is his relationship with his wife, Eileen O'Shaughnessy. The two met in 1935, and their marriage was marked by a deep emotional connection and a shared passion for literature and politics. Eileen was not only Orwell's partner, but also his closest friend and confidant, and her influence can be seen in many of his works. Orwell's later years were marked by illness and personal struggle. He suffered from tuberculosis, which forced him to move to the island of Jura in Scotland, where he lived a simple, rustic life. It was here that he wrote some of his most famous essays, including Politics and the English Language and Why the First Right. These works showcase Orwell's unique ability to blend literary criticism with social commentary, and they remain essential reading for anyone interested in the craft of writing. In conclusion, George Orwell's life and work are a testament to the human spirit, flawed, imperfect, but ultimately resilient. He was a man who lived life on his own terms, who refused to compromise his values or sacrifice his artistic vision. And that's something we can all learn from. That's all for today's Lit with Ernest. Like this episode if it hit true. Share it if you respect honest talk about books. Subscribe, because we'll do this again. This is Ernest, signing off.